Hey everybody, Will here from 1459 Studios, and today we're going to check out the Harvey Audio Commando Overdrive. Alright, so the Harvey Audio Commando Overdrive pedal. So take a look at the artwork on this thing, right? It just looks like a Megadeth cover, right? So you're thinking metal. It's pretty cool. So these are actually hand-built in the Dakotas by Paul from the band Gorgatron. If you're not familiar with the band, you really should check them out. They're fantastic. But he builds these all by hand. They're really well built, excellent pedals. He sent one of these to me, being that this is mainly a death metal house. We do death metal, thrash metal, black metal, that kind of thing. We do punk rock and all that too, but as a general statement, this place is known as a metal house. So he wanted to send this to me to get honest feedback and honest critique, and basically think about the type of player that he's building this for, the type of player that he's designed it for. And it was given to me. So full disclosure, I didn't pay for it. I'm happy to report that Paul, being a good friend of mine, really knocked it out of the park on this thing. It's a really great overdrive pedal. So let's talk about it a little bit. Why do I really like this pedal? So from an overdrive standpoint, why would you put an overdrive in front of an amplifier? Now, a lot of you who are watching this might go, yeah, we know why you do this. But for people who aren't as familiar why players do this, sometimes it's simple just to give a boost, just to give a volume boost for a solo, for a lead, just to kind of pop out in the mix somewhere in a live situation. Sometimes it's to make your amplifier do something that your amplifier by itself can't do, that the pedal can just give you a little bit more tweak. Maybe you're critiquing it to the room, maybe you want to hear what your amp sounds differently in that day, it's striking you differently, whatever it may be. It gives you a nice tone shift to be able to do it on the fly in such a way that you don't have to mess with your amplifier or your guitar in a live sense. So it's really nice to kind of have that option to have an overdrive in front of your amp. So why do I like this particular pedal as compared to a traditional tube screamer or something like that maybe you're more familiar with? I love how this pedal can be really transparent or be really aggressive depending on what the player is looking for or what the player needs to get out of their amplifier. So when this pedal is engaged, you've got a couple really simple settings that you can go to kind of figure out what you're looking for with the overdrive in front of your amp. Of course, the volume is pretty straightforward. It's how much do you want the pedal to be engaged? Do you want it to be really transparent or do you want it to be really aggressive? Very simple. The tone feature can take you anywhere from just a small boost in the high end to a really aggressive HM2 style, tight, top, bright attack. So it's got a really wide sweep to it, which is really quite nice to be able to do, especially for the kind of music that I'm talking about with metal. And then, of course, your dirt feature is how much you want to distort the signal, how much you want to square off that wave, right? Where you're going, okay, I just want it to just beef it up just a little bit, just a little more grit, that's great. Or you want to get really aggressive into the music stylings of, say, grind, right? If you're thinking like dirty napalm death type tones. And it can do any combination of those things really nicely and in a really transparent way. My favorite feature on this pedal is the beef or tight switch. So imagine you're playing your amplifier and the amplifier just isn't as chunky as you're looking for. Maybe your palm mutes don't feel as big, they don't feel as pronounced. Pop that beef switch on, it's just going to give you a nice little push in that low mid, so that chunk just gives you a little bit more oomph, a little more gusto, if you will. Maybe it's the other way where you've got too much low end. Think of like a Mesa amp. Those tend to get muddy in the low end, right? In my humble opinion. Here comes the comments, right? But you can throw it up to the tight switch, and what you've got there is you suddenly tightened up some of that kind of muddy low end that was happening with your palm mutes or with big open notes, that kind of thing. And this pedal allows you to really control it in a transparent way. It's really great to be able to say that Paul, being a good friend of mine that I've known for years, to be able to give a truly honest review on this pedal, that I'm really happy with it. I think he did a really great job with it. And I just used it on the Visceral Reaction session about a week or two ago. Their guitars were just not giving me what I was looking for in a recorded sense. I felt one guitar player had a little bit too much low end, and the other guitar player had a lot of gain but not a lot of beef. And I was able to use this pedal for both of those scenarios to sculpt the tone and give me a sound that I was looking for in a recorded environment. So if it can do it in a recording environment, it can certainly do it in a live environment too. So I encourage you to check this pedal out. You want to see some sound samples? Let's listen. Hey everybody, Will here from 1459 Studios. We proudly use and endorse Tone Vault audio cabling and Paul Reed Smith guitars. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. If you like what you hear, be sure to check out my bands Coffin Rights, Plague of Stars, and Chalice of Suffering. All right, so thanks for checking out the video on the Harvey Audio Commando Overdrive here. Again, Harvey Audio, completely hand-built in the United States by another death metal guy, Paul from Gorgatron. Be sure to check out the link down here to check out this and all of his other pedals. Another cool one that we're going to do a review on shortly is the good old Angrot chainsaw pedal. So remember my video on the HM2? This is supposed to be the HM2 killer. So stay tuned for that video. In the meantime, check out Harvey Audio.